The Price of Betrayal. A complete story in 3 parts. Part 1, Shattered Trust. The Anniversary Surprise. The morning sun painted Manhattan's skyline in shades of gold and pink. Maya Chen stood outside Hexagon Tech's glass tower, clutching a small bakery box containing Derek's favorite chocolate cake. 5 years. 5 years of marriage deserved celebration, even if things had felt distant lately. She smoothed her blue dress, the one Derek had complimented on their first date. Her reflection in the building's mirror-like surface showed a woman of 32, with dark hair swept into a neat bun and tired eyes that still held hope. Today would be different. Today, they would reconnect. The security guard, Marcus, waved her through with a warm smile. "Morning, Mrs. Hayes." "He doesn't know you're coming, does he?" "It's a surprise," Maya whispered, excitement bubbling in her chest. She rode the elevator to the 20th floor, where Derek's corner office overlooked the city. The executive level was quiet this early, just past 7 in the morning. Perfect for a private celebration before his day filled with meetings. Maya's heels clicked softly on the marble floor as she approached his office. The door was slightly open, warm light spilling into the hallway. She heard voices inside and paused. Derek wasn't alone. "You worry too much," a woman's voice said. Familiar. Too familiar. Maya's hand froze on the door handle. That was Vanessa's voice. Her best friend since college. Her business partner in the design studio they'd started together before Maya had sold her share to support Derek's company launch. "She'll never find out," Derek replied, his tone carrying that lazy confidence Maya once found attractive. "Maya's too trusting. Always has been." The bakery box slipped from Maya's fingers, hitting the floor with a soft thud. She pushed the door open. The scene before her shattered like glass. Derek sat on the edge of his desk, his shirt partially unbuttoned. Vanessa stood between his legs, her hands on his shoulders, her lipstick smeared. Both turned toward the sound, their faces showing surprise, then something worse, relief. "Maya," Derek said, not bothering to move away from Vanessa. "You're early." "What is this?" Maya's voice came out small, broken. She already knew. Her heart already knew. But her mind needed them to say it. Vanessa stepped back, smoothing her skirt with hands that didn't shake. No guilt shadowed her face. Instead, she looked almost satisfied. "I think it's time we were honest, Maya." The truth unveiled. Derek stood up, buttoning his shirt with casual ease, as if Maya had interrupted a business meeting instead of catching him with another woman. "With her best friend." "How long?" Maya asked, her voice stronger now, fueled by rising anger. "Does it matter?" Derek crossed his arms. 8 months. Maybe 9. 9 months. While Maya had been planning their future, saving money, supporting his dreams. 9 months of lies. Why? The word tore from her throat. Vanessa spoke first, her voice cool and measured. "Because I could give him what you couldn't, Maya. Ambition. Drive. You were always too soft, too focused on feelings instead of success." Maya's legs trembled. She gripped the doorframe for support. "We were friends. Since freshman year. We built a business together." "A failing business," Vanessa corrected. "Until I took over after you left. Your designs were good, Maya, but you lacked vision. I turned our little studio into something that actually matters." Derek moved closer to Vanessa, his hand casually resting on her waist. The gesture felt practiced, comfortable. How many times had they stood like this while Maya worked late, trusting them both? "You were never enough, Maya," Derek said, his words landing like physical blows. "I needed someone who understood the game. Someone who could help me build an empire, not someone who wanted to paint nurseries and talk about feelings." Maya's hand instinctively moved to her stomach. She'd stopped taking birth control 2 months ago, hoping to surprise Derek with a family conversation on their anniversary. Thank God nothing had happened. I want a divorce, Maya said quietly. Derek laughed. Already prepared for that. My lawyer has papers ready. You'll get nothing, by the way. The prenup you signed was very thorough. Prenup? Maya's mind raced back 5 years. She'd signed papers before the wedding, but Derek had told her they were just formalities, insurance requirements. She'd trusted him. She'd signed without reading carefully. You really were naive, Vanessa said, checking her reflection in the office window. Did you actually think Derek would marry you without protecting his assets? The fall. Maya left the office in a daze. She didn't remember taking the elevator down or walking through the lobby. Marcus called after her, concerned, but she kept walking. The world tilted. Cars honked. People rushed past. The city that had felt like home now seemed hostile, too loud, too bright. She found herself at their apartment by noon. Their apartment. No, it was Derek's apartment. His name on the lease, his money paying for it. She'd given up her own place when they married, moved into his luxury penthouse. Maya started packing. Clothes, books, her laptop. Her hands moved mechanically while her mind spun. Where would she go? Her parents had retired to Florida. Her other friends had drifted away over the years, her world shrinking to just Derek and Vanessa. Her phone buzzed with a text from Derek, "Lawyer will contact you tomorrow. Be out by weekend. I'm changing the locks." No apology. No explanation beyond what he'd already said. Just cold efficiency. Maya's bank app showed her personal account held $800. The joint account, the one she'd contributed to for 5 years, showed zero. Derek had emptied it. Panic squeezed her chest. She couldn't breathe. The room spun. A knock on the door startled her. She opened it to find Mrs. Chen, the elderly woman from across the hall. "I heard crying," Mrs. Chen said gently, her weathered face soft with concern. "Are you okay, dear?" Maya broke. Everything she'd held together since that morning shattered. She collapsed into Mrs. Chen's arms, sobbing, the whole story pouring out. Starting over in the smallest way. Mrs. Chen helped Maya pack. Together, they loaded Maya's possessions into the older woman's car. It all fit easily. 5 years of marriage reduced to 4 boxes and 2 suitcases. "You can stay in my guest room," Mrs. Chen offered. "Just until you figure things out. I can't afford to pay you." "Did I ask for money?" Mrs. Chen's tone was sharp but kind. "You'll help me with grocery shopping and cooking. That's payment enough." The guest room was tiny, barely big enough for a single bed and a dresser. But it was clean and warm, and Mrs. Chen brought tea and homemade soup. "My husband left me 40 years ago," Mrs. Chen said, sitting on the edge of the bed. "Ran off with a younger woman. I thought my life was over. I was wrong. It was just beginning." Maya wanted to believe her, but everything felt impossible. She'd lost her husband, her best friend, her home, and her business. The design studio she and Vanessa had built was now solely in Vanessa's name. Maya had signed away her rights when she sold her share for a fraction of what it was worth, trusting Vanessa to be fair. She'd trusted everyone. And everyone had betrayed her. The coffee shop meeting. 3 months passed. Maya found work as a freelance graphic designer, taking small jobs she found online. The pay was terrible, but it kept her fed. She spent her days at a small coffee shop called The Grind, nursing a single cup of coffee for hours while she worked on her laptop. The shop owner, Ramon, never complained. Sometimes he'd bring her a muffin on the house when he noticed she hadn't eaten. One rainy Tuesday afternoon, a man sat down across from her without asking. Maya looked up, ready to protest, but the words died when she saw his face. He was maybe 35, with dark hair slightly wet from the rain, sharp features, and eyes that seemed to see too much. He wore an expensive suit but had loosened his tie, and he carried himself with quiet confidence. "You're Maya Chen," he said. It wasn't a question. Maya's guard went up immediately. "Who's asking?" "Someone who's been looking for you." He pulled out a business card and slid it across the table. "Alexander Kane. I run a company called Titan Industries." The name meant nothing to Maya. She'd been so focused on surviving that she'd stopped following industry news. "I've seen your work," Alexander continued. "Your original work, from before you partnered with Vanessa Shaw." Maya's heart skipped. "How?" "I make it my business to know talent when I see it." "The designs that launched Hexagon Tech? Those were yours, weren't they?" "Before Derek Hayes put his name on them." Shock froze Maya's tongue. "How did he know?" Alexander leaned forward, his voice low and intense. "I'm starting a new tech division. I need a lead designer. Someone with vision and skill. Someone who isn't afraid to build something real." "Why me?" "Because you're hungry. Because you've lost everything and you're still fighting. And because I believe in second chances." He stood up, leaving his card on the table. "Think about it. The offer stands for 1 week." He walked away, leaving Maya staring at the card. The phone number and email gleamed in embossed silver lettering. The decision. That night, Maya researched Alexander Kane. He was legitimate, a self-made billionaire who'd built his fortune in tech investments. Titan Industries was his latest venture, a company focused on innovative design and ethical business practices. But something nagged at her. Why would someone that successful seek her out? She was nobody now, a failed designer working from coffee shops. Mrs. Chen found her at the kitchen table at midnight, surrounded by printed articles about Alexander Kane. "Can't sleep?" the elderly woman asked, putting on the kettle for tea. "Someone offered me a job. A real job. But I don't understand why. Maybe he sees what you can't see in yourself right now." Mrs. Chen poured hot water over tea leaves. "Or maybe he has other reasons. Either way, you won't know unless you try." "I'm scared," Maya admitted. "What if this is another mistake? What if I trust the wrong person again?" "Then you learn and keep moving forward." Mrs. Chen handed her the tea. "But staying here, hiding from possibility? That's not living, dear. That's just existing." Maya thought about Derek and Vanessa, probably celebrating their engagement by now. She thought about the designs she'd created, now credited to Derek's name. She thought about the woman she used to be, before fear and betrayal had made her small. The next morning, Maya called the number on Alexander Kane's card. "I accept your offer," she said when he answered. "But I have conditions." "Name them." His voice held a smile. "I want a fair contract, reviewed by a lawyer of my choosing. I want credit for my work, in writing. And I want to know the real reason you're doing this." "Fair enough. Come to my office tomorrow morning. Bring your lawyer. I'll answer all your questions. And if I don't like your answers? Then you walk away, and I'll still pay for your lawyer's time. Deal?" Maya took a deep breath. Deal. As she hung up, something shifted inside her. Fear remained, but beneath it, something else stirred. Not quite hope, not yet. But maybe the beginning of it. The woman who'd been shattered 3 months ago was gone. But someone new was emerging from the pieces. Someone stronger. Someone who wouldn't make the same mistakes twice. Maya Chen's story wasn't over. In fact, it was just beginning. Part 2, Rising from the Ashes, 2,000 words. The contract negotiation. Alexander Kane's office occupied the entire top floor of a sleek building in downtown Manhattan. Floor-to-ceiling windows offered panoramic views of the city, but Maya barely noticed. She sat in a leather chair across from Alexander, her newly hired lawyer, Patricia Morrison, beside her. Patricia was a no-nonsense woman in her 50s who'd come recommended by Mrs. Chen's nephew. She'd reviewed Alexander's contract offer and raised several eyebrows. This is unusually generous, Patricia said, tapping the document. Lead designer position, six-figure salary, full benefits, and intellectual property rights that protect your work. Mr. Kane, I've seen Fortune 500 contracts less favorable than this. Alexander leaned back in his chair, fingers steepled. Ms. Chen's talent warrants it. You promised to explain why, Maya said, finding her voice. Why me? Why now? Alexander was quiet for a moment, his gaze moving to the window. When he spoke, his voice carried weight. 5 years ago, my sister Emma started a company. She was brilliant, innovative, and trusting. She took on a business partner who seemed supportive. He turned back to Maya. That partner was Derek Hayes. Maya's blood ran cold. Derek convinced Emma to sign over majority control, promising to handle the business side while she focused on development. 6 months later, he pushed her out entirely. Took her ideas, her work, everything. The company collapsed within a year after he stripped its assets. What happened to your sister? She gave up. Moved to Oregon, works as a teacher now. She won't even touch technology anymore. Alexander's jaw tightened. Derek Hayes destroys people, Maya. He takes their work, their trust, their dreams, and he consumes them. So this is about revenge? Maya asked. You want to use me to hurt Derek? No. Alexander's answer was firm. This is about justice. And opportunity. Derek stole from you too. I've seen your original design portfolios, the ones from your studio with Vanessa. The concepts that launched Hexagon Tech were yours. Derek just put his name on them after you sold your share of the company. Maya's hands clenched. I can't prove that. Actually, you can. I have copies of your original files, timestamped and dated. They predate Hexagon Tech's launch by 8 months. How? I make it my business to know things. Alexander pulled out a folder and slid it across the desk. I'm not asking you to destroy Derek. I'm offering you a chance to build something better. If, in the process, Derek realizes he can't keep stealing from talented people, that's just a bonus. Patricia reviewed the documents in the folder, her eyes widening. These would hold up in court. Maya stared at the papers. Her designs. Her work. The proof had been there all along. I need to know one more thing, Maya said, meeting Alexander's eyes. Are you being honest with me? Because I can't survive another betrayal. I'll make mistakes. I'll push you hard. But I will never steal from you, and I will never lie to you. Alexander extended his hand. You have my word. Maya looked at his hand for a long moment. Trust didn't come easily anymore. But staying afraid meant Derek won. She shook his hand. When do I start? Finding her fire again. Maya's first week at Titan Industries was overwhelming. The design team consisted of 12 people, all reporting to her. The office space was modern and bright, with the latest technology and unlimited supplies. It felt like a dream. Maya kept waiting to wake up. Her first project was designing the user interface for a new app that would help small businesses manage their finances. Alexander wanted something intuitive, beautiful, and revolutionary. Maya spent 3 days sketching, discarding, and starting over. Nothing felt right. The fear of failure paralyzed her. What if she couldn't do this? What if Derek had been right about her lacking vision? On the 4th day, Alexander knocked on her office door. Can I come in? Maya gestured to the chair across from her desk. Papers covered every surface, evidence of her struggle. It's not working, she admitted. I can't find the right angle. Why not? Because I'm scared. What if I fail? What if you realize you made a mistake hiring me? Alexander picked up one of her discarded sketches. This is brilliant. That's the one I hated most. Why? Because it's too simple. Too basic. Or maybe it's exactly what it needs to be. Alexander set the sketch down. You're trying to prove something, Maya. To me, to yourself, maybe even to Derek. But great design doesn't come from proving anything. It comes from solving problems. Maya looked at the sketch again. He was right. She'd been designing to impress rather than to serve the user. Start over, Alexander said. Not from scratch, from purpose. Who is this app for? What problem does it solve? Everything else will follow. After he left, Maya sat in silence. Then she did something she hadn't done in months. She closed her eyes and let herself feel the joy of creating without fear. The design came together in 2 days. Clean, intuitive, elegant. When she presented it to the team, the room fell silent. Then everyone started talking at once, excited, building on her ideas. Maya felt something she'd forgotten, pride in her own work. The complication of feelings. 2 months into her new position, Maya realized she had a problem. She was developing feelings for Alexander Kane. It started small. The way he listened when she spoke. How he challenged her ideas without dismissing them. The respect he showed her work. His smile when she succeeded. She noticed when he arrived each morning, how he took his coffee black, that he stayed late working on weekends. She found excuses to stop by his office with questions that could have been emails. This was dangerous. Maya had sworn off relationships, especially workplace ones. Especially with men who might have hidden agendas. But Alexander made it difficult. He was kind without being soft, ambitious without being cruel. He treated everyone with respect, from the janitor to the board members. One Friday evening, most of the office had left early. Maya was finishing a presentation when Alexander knocked on her door. Working late again? He asked. Could say the same about you. Want to grab dinner? There's a Thai place around the corner. He added quickly, just as colleagues. You look like you haven't eaten today. Maya hesitated. I should go home. Maya. He said her name gently. It's just dinner. No pressure, no expectations. Just food and maybe conversation about something other than work. She should say no. Every instinct screamed caution. But another part of her, the part that was tired of being afraid, wanted to say yes. Okay. But I'm paying for my own meal. Alexander smiled. Deal. The restaurant revelation. The restaurant was small and cozy, with warm lighting and the smell of lemongrass and basil. They sat in a corner booth, and for the first time, Maya saw Alexander relax. They talked about movies, books, and childhood memories. Alexander told her about growing up in Chicago with Emma, how they'd been close until his business success had created distance between them. She thinks I've become like the people who hurt her, Alexander said quietly. Maybe she's right. Why do you say that? Because I'm obsessed with beating them. With proving that people like Derek don't get to win. He met her eyes. I need to be honest with you about something. Maya's stomach tightened. Here it comes. The catch. The real reason. When I hired you, it wasn't entirely altruistic. Yes, you're talented. Yes, you deserved the opportunity. But I also knew that having you on my team would bother Derek. Hexagon Tech is our main competitor. You working for me sends a message. Maya set down her fork. So I am a pawn. No. You were a strategic choice that I hoped would also be the right choice. But Maya, these past 2 months. He ran a hand through his hair. You've exceeded every expectation. You're not just talented, you're brilliant. The team respects you. Clients love your work. And I've realized something. What? That somewhere along the way, this stopped being about Derek for me. It became about you. About working with someone who cares as much as I do. About watching you rediscover your confidence. He paused. About wanting to know you beyond the office. Maya's heart hammered. Alexander, I can't. I'm not ready for. I know. And I'm not asking for anything. I just needed you to know the truth. All of it. You deserve honesty, even when it's complicated. They sat in silence for a moment. Maya appreciated his honesty, but it complicated everything. Could she trust his feelings? Could she trust her own? I need time, she finally said. Take all the time you need. Your job isn't conditional on anything except your work. That's a promise. They finished dinner with lighter conversation, but something had shifted between them. Maya couldn't name it, but she felt it. The encounter at the gallery. The following weekend, Maya attended an art gallery opening. Mrs. Chen had encouraged her to get out more, to rebuild a social life beyond work. The gallery was crowded with Manhattan's art scene. Maya wore a simple black dress and felt out of place among the designer gowns and expensive suits. She was studying a painting when she heard a voice that made her blood freeze. Well. Maya Chen. She turned to find Derek and Vanessa approaching. Vanessa wore a massive diamond ring. Derek looked smug and successful in a tailored suit. Derek. Vanessa. Maya's voice was steady despite her racing heart. We heard you were working for Alexander Kane, Vanessa said, her tone dripping with false sweetness. How cute. Playing designer again? I am a designer. Lead designer, actually. Derek laughed. For now. Kane's known for chewing up talent and spitting them out. Ask his sister. I know about Emma, Maya said quietly. I know what you did to her. Derek's smile faded slightly. Ancient history. Besides, she couldn't handle the real world. Neither could you. Is that why you stole my designs? Because I couldn't handle the real world? You gave those to me, Derek countered. Willingly. No. I gave them to my husband. I trusted my partner. You took advantage of that trust. Vanessa stepped closer. You were always too emotional, Maya. Business isn't about feelings. You're right, Maya said, surprising them both. Business is about results. And I'm getting results. Real ones, with my name on them. How's Hexagon Tech doing lately? I heard your latest app launch failed. Derek's face darkened. That's temporary. We have new projects in development. Based on whose ideas? Yours? We both know you're not the creative one. Careful, Maya, Derek warned. You might want to remember that prenup. Already had it reviewed by a real lawyer. Turns out, it's not as ironclad as you claimed. Especially the clause about intellectual property created during the marriage. Derek's expression shifted from smug to uncertain. You're bluffing. Try me. A hand appeared at Maya's elbow. Alexander had arrived, looking sharp in a navy suit. He smiled at Derek and Vanessa with perfect politeness that didn't reach his eyes. Derek. Vanessa. What an unpleasant surprise. He turned to Maya. Sorry I'm late. Traffic was terrible. Derek's jaw clenched. The two men stared at each other with obvious mutual dislike. We were just leaving, Vanessa said, tugging Derek's arm. So soon? Alexander said smoothly. I was hoping to discuss Hexagon's declining market share. I hear investors are getting nervous. Our company is fine, Derek snapped. For now. Alexander's smile was sharp. Enjoy the evening. Derek and Vanessa left quickly, their perfect facade cracking. Maya exhaled slowly. Thank you. For what? For showing up. For having my back. Alexander looked at her seriously. Always. Whether you want me to or not. The shift. That night marked a change in Maya. She realized she'd spent 3 months being afraid of trusting, afraid of failing, afraid of being hurt again. But fear was just another form of Derek's control. By staying afraid, she let him win. She didn't have to trust blindly. But she could trust carefully, with open eyes and clear boundaries. She could build something new without forgetting what she'd learned from the past. The next morning, Maya walked into Alexander's office with a proposal. "I want to expand my role," she said. "I want to lead the pitch for the Morrison account." Morrison Technologies was Hexagon Tech's biggest client. If Titan Industries landed them, it would be a major blow to Derek's company. "That's an aggressive move," Alexander said. "I know. But I can do it. I know what Morrison needs because I designed their original interface before Derek took credit for it." Alexander studied her face. "This isn't about revenge?" "No. It's about showing what I can do. About proving to myself that I belong here." She met his eyes. "About moving forward instead of hiding from the past." A slow smile crossed Alexander's face. "Then let's make it happen." As Maya left his office, she felt lighter. The scared woman from 3 months ago was transforming into someone stronger. Someone who fought for what she deserved. Derek had taken everything from her once. But he'd also, unknowingly, freed her to become something better. The real Maya Chen was just getting started. Part 3, Justice and New Beginnings, 2,000 words. The Morrison pitch. The Morrison Technologies boardroom gleamed with floor-to-ceiling windows and modern art. 8 executives sat around a mahogany table, including CEO Richard Morrison, a silver-haired man known for his sharp business instincts. Maya stood at the head of the table, her presentation ready on the screen behind her. Alexander sat to the side, present but letting her lead. Her hands were steady as she clicked to the first slide. "Gentlemen, Ms. Morrison," Maya began, nodding to Richard's daughter Jennifer, the CFO. "You've been with Hexagon Tech for 3 years. In that time, your user satisfaction scores have declined by 23%. The room tensed. This was bold opening. "That's because the interface you're using was designed 5 years ago for a different purpose. It's been patched and updated, but never reimagined. You've outgrown it." Richard leaned forward. "And you're proposing?" "A complete redesign built specifically for your needs. Not a template, not a modified version of someone else's work. A custom solution." Maya clicked through her presentation. Each slide showed careful research, innovative design concepts, and most importantly, understanding of Morrison Technologies' specific challenges. "Ms. Chen," Jennifer spoke up. "This design philosophy looks familiar. Didn't Hexagon Tech pitch something similar 2 years ago?" Maya smiled. "Yes. Because I designed that pitch. Before Derek Hayes put his name on it and delivered a watered-down version of what I'd proposed." The room went silent. "I'm the original designer behind Hexagon Tech's flagship products. I left the company, and they've been recycling my old ideas ever since. You deserve fresh innovation, not reheated concepts." Richard's eyes sharpened with interest. "Can you prove that?" Maya had prepared for this. She pulled out a folder containing time-stamped files, original sketches, and development notes. "Everything here predates my departure from Hexagon by at least 6 months. My work. My vision. Never properly credited. Why should we trust you won't take our designs and leave too?" Jennifer asked. "Because at Titan Industries, I have something I never had at Hexagon, a contract that protects my work and a CEO who doesn't steal credit." Maya glanced at Alexander. "I'm not running anymore. I'm building a career on my own terms." The presentation continued for another 40 minutes. Maya answered every question with confidence backed by research. She wasn't performing, she was sharing genuine expertise. When it ended, Richard stood and extended his hand. "We'll need a few days to discuss this internally." "Of course. Thank you for your time." As Maya and Alexander left the building, she felt exhilarated and exhausted. "You were incredible in there," Alexander said. "We'll see. They might stick with Derek out of loyalty." "No." Alexander's voice was certain. "They're business people. They saw the superior option." "You've got this." The response. 3 days later, the call came. Morrison Technologies was switching to Titan Industries. The contract was worth $12 million. Maya sat in her office, staring at the confirmation email, barely able to process it. This wasn't just a business win. It was validation. Proof that her talent mattered. Her phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number: "Congratulations on stealing my client. Enjoy it while you can. D. Derek." Maya stared at the message, waiting for the fear or anger to come. Instead, she felt nothing but pity. He was still trying to control her through intimidation. She deleted the message without responding. That evening, the Titan team celebrated at an upscale restaurant. Maya found herself laughing genuinely for the first time in months, surrounded by colleagues who respected her. Alexander raised his glass to Maya Chen, who just landed the biggest deal in Titan's history. Everyone cheered. Maya blushed but didn't deflect the praise. She'd earned it. Later, as people drifted away, Alexander and Maya found themselves alone on the restaurant's balcony, city lights glittering below. "How does it feel?" Alexander asked. "Strange." "Good, but strange. Like I'm waiting for someone to take it away." "No one's taking anything from you again. Not while I'm around." Maya turned to him. "Why do you care so much?" "Really?" Alexander was quiet for a moment. "Because when I met you, I saw someone who'd been broken by the same kind of person who destroyed my sister. I wanted to help. But somewhere along the way..." He paused, choosing his words carefully. "You stopped being a project or a strategic move. You became someone I looked forward to seeing every day. Someone who made me want to be better." "Alexander. I know you're not ready. I'm not asking for anything. I just wanted you to know." Maya looked out at the city. A month ago, this confession would have terrified her. Now, it felt like a door opening rather than a trap closing. "Ask me again in 6 months," she said softly. Alexander smiled. "That's specific. I need time to be sure. About myself, about you, about everything. I won't rush into anything again." 6 months, Alexander agreed. "I can wait." The unexpected alliance. 2 weeks after landing Morrison Technologies, Maya received an email that shocked her. Vanessa wanted to meet. Maya's first instinct was to delete it. But curiosity won. They agreed to meet at a neutral coffee shop, not the grind where Maya had found sanctuary. Vanessa arrived on time, looking less polished than usual. No designer bag, minimal makeup, and tension in her shoulders. "Thank you for coming," Vanessa said as they sat down. "Why am I here?" "Because I need to tell you the truth. About Derek. About everything." Vanessa took a shaky breath. "He's leaving me." Maya felt no satisfaction in this. "Why?" "Morrison Technologies dumped him. 3 other clients followed. His company is failing, and apparently, I'm only valuable when I'm useful." Vanessa's laugh was bitter. "Turns out, he's been seeing his secretary for the past 2 months. The pattern repeats." "I'm sorry," Maya said, surprising herself by meaning it. "Don't be. I deserve this. What I did to you." Vanessa's eyes filled with tears. "Maya, I was horrible. I betrayed you because I was jealous." "Jealous?" "Of everything. Your talent, your authenticity, the fact that people genuinely liked you. Derek noticed that. He used my jealousy to manipulate both of us." Maya wanted to stay angry. Part of her was. But she also saw something she recognized in Vanessa's face, the devastation of realizing you'd been used. "What do you want from me?" Maya asked. "Nothing. Just to apologize and to give you these." Vanessa slid a flash drive across the table. Financial records, emails, everything showing how Derek systematically stole designs from multiple sources, including you. He kept copies of everything as insurance against his partners. "I found them on his computer." Maya stared at the flash drive. "Why are you giving this to me?" "Because you deserved better than what I gave you." "We both deserved better than Derek Hayes." "But you actually did something about it. You rebuilt." "I just helped him tear people down." Vanessa stood up. "I'm not asking for forgiveness. I just needed you to have the truth." She left before Maya could respond. The legal battle. Maya brought the flash drive to Patricia, her lawyer. The evidence was damning, proof of intellectual property theft spanning 5 years, involving at least a dozen designers and 3 companies. "This is enough to destroy him," Patricia said. Maya thought about revenge, about how sweet it would feel to watch Derek lose everything as she had. But then she thought about the person she'd become over the past 6 months. Revenge wouldn't heal her, it would just keep her connected to him. "I want credit for my designs and compensation for the work he stole," Maya said. "But I don't want to destroy him. I just want justice." "That's very mature of you." "No, it's self-preservation. Destroying Derek would mean spending months in court, rehashing everything. I want to move forward, not backward." Patricia filed suit on Maya's behalf, along with 3 other designers Derek had stolen from. The evidence was overwhelming. Derek's lawyers advised him to settle. The settlement gave Maya financial compensation, restored credit for her original designs, and included a public statement from Hexagon Tech acknowledging the theft. It wasn't everything, but it was enough. The gala confrontation. 3 months later, Maya attended the Tech Innovation Awards. Titan Industries had been nominated for Best Design Team, thanks largely to Maya's work. She wore a midnight blue gown that Mrs. Chen had helped her pick out. Her hair was styled elegantly, and for the first time in over a year, she felt beautiful. Alexander met her at the entrance, looking handsome in a black tuxedo. His eyes widened when he saw her. "You look stunning," he said. "You clean up pretty well yourself." Inside, the ballroom glittered with chandeliers and Manhattan's tech elite. Maya recognized faces from magazine covers and industry conferences. Then she saw Derek across the room. He looked thinner, older, his smile forced as he networked desperately. Hexagon Tech's troubles had become industry gossip. Vanessa wasn't with him. Their eyes met across the crowded room. Derek's expression flickered, surprise, anger, something that might have been regret. He started toward her. Alexander tensed beside Maya. "Want me to intervene?" "No. I've got this." Derek stopped in front of them, his false smile plastered on. "Maya. Alexander. Congratulations on the nomination." "Thank you," Maya said calmly. "I heard about the settlement." "You must be pleased." "I'm satisfied with justice." Derek's smile tightened. "Always so self-righteous. You know, you could have had everything if you'd just been more ambitious, more willing to. To let you take credit for my work?" Maya interrupted. "To accept being invisible while you built a career on my ideas?" "No, Derek. That's not ambition. That's theft. I made you better. You were nothing before me." "No." Maya's voice was firm but not angry. "I was talented before you. I'm talented now. The difference is now I know my worth, and I won't settle for people who don't." She walked away without waiting for a response, Alexander beside her. "That was perfect," he murmured. 6 months, Maya said suddenly. "What? You asked me to tell you in 6 months. It's been exactly 6 months since that night on the balcony. I'm ready now." Alexander stopped walking, searching her face. Ready for what? To try. To see if what's between us is real. I've rebuilt myself. I know who I am now. And I know I want you in my life, not as a boss or a savior, but as a partner. Are you sure? I'm terrified, Maya admitted. But I'm also sure. I trust myself now. And I trust you. Alexander smiled, a genuine, unguarded smile that transformed his usually serious face. Can I kiss you? I thought you'd never ask. He kissed her there in the hallway, gentle and perfect, while the gala continued around them. It wasn't the dramatic kiss of movies, it was something better. Real. Honest. A beginning built on mutual respect and genuine feeling. When they pulled apart, Maya laughed. We're probably missing the awards. Don't care. Alexander Kane, CEO of Titan Industries, doesn't care about an industry award? Not when I have something better right here. The award. They made it back to the ballroom just as the nominations for Best Design Team were announced. When Titan Industries won, the room erupted in applause. Maya walked to the stage with her team, heart pounding. The spotlight was blinding, but she felt ready. She took the microphone, looking out at the crowd. Derek stood near the back, his expression unreadable. Thank you for this honor, Maya began. A year ago, I lost everything. My marriage, my business, my confidence. I thought my career was over. She paused, gathering her thoughts. But sometimes losing everything is actually freedom. Freedom to rebuild on your own terms. Freedom to work with people who value you. Freedom to remember why you fell in love with your craft in the first place. Her eyes found Alexander in the audience. He smiled. This award belongs to the entire Titan team, to Alexander Kane for taking a chance on me, and to everyone who believed in second chances. Thank you. The applause was thunderous. As Maya left the stage, she passed Derek. He said nothing, just gave a small nod. It wasn't an apology, but it was acknowledgement. Maya didn't need more than that. His chapter of her life was closed. 6 months later, the ending. Spring brought warmth back to New York. Maya stood in front of a brownstone in Brooklyn, keys in hand. Her brownstone. Bought with her settlement money and her savings from Titan. Mrs. Chen stood beside her, smiling. Look at you. A homeowner. I couldn't have done it without you. Nonsense. You did this yourself. I just made soup. They laughed together, and Maya unlocked the door to her new home. The house needed work, the walls wanted painting, the floors needed refinishing. But it was hers. Really hers. Alexander arrived an hour later with boxes of her things from storage. Together, they started unpacking. I have something for you, he said, pulling out a wrapped package. Inside was a framed picture, Maya's first design from the Morrison project, professionally printed and matted. Beneath it, a small plaque read, "The beginning, Maya Chen, lead designer, Titan Industries." Maya's eyes filled with tears. It's perfect. I also have news. I bought out my sister's original company. The one Derek destroyed. I'm giving it to her, fully funded, with her as CEO. If she wants it. Did she accept? She's thinking about it. But Maya, I told her about you. About your story. I think it gave her hope. Maya hugged him tightly. Thank you for everything. I should be thanking you. You made me remember why I started this in the first place. Not to beat people like Derek, but to help people like you and Emma thrive. They spent the rest of the day making the house feel like home. Mrs. Chen brought tea. Some of Maya's team members stopped by with housewarming gifts. As evening fell, Maya and Alexander sat on the front steps, watching the neighborhood come alive with dinner smells and children playing. Are you happy? Alexander asked. Maya thought about the question. A year ago, happiness had seemed impossible. she'd been broken, betrayed, alone. Now she had a career she'd built herself, a home she owned, friends who genuinely cared, and a partner who respected her. "Yes," she said simply. "I'm happy." "Good." Alexander took her hand. "Because I plan on keeping you that way." "That's not your job." "I know. But I want to try anyway." Maya smiled, leaning her head on his shoulder. The brownstone behind them was full of possibilities. The city around them hummed with life. And for the first time in a long time, the future didn't feel scary. It felt full of promise. Epilogue 1 year later. Maya stood in Titan Industries' new office space, supervising the installation of a wall dedicated to the design team's achievements. Her title had changed again, she was now creative director, overseeing 3 design teams. Her phone buzzed with a message from Vanessa, "Congratulations on the promotion. You deserved it." "I'm doing better too. Started therapy, working freelance. Maybe someday we can grab coffee?" "No pressure." Maya smiled and typed back, "Maybe someday. Keep healing. Proud of you for doing the work." She wasn't ready to fully forgive yet, but she was open to the possibility. Healing wasn't linear, and neither was forgiveness. Alexander walked up behind her, slipping his arms around her waist. "Ready for dinner? Mrs. Chen is making her famous dumplings." "Let me just finish." "Maya. Work will be here tomorrow. Mrs. Chen's dumplings won't." She laughed and let him pull her away from work. As they left the building, Maya caught her reflection in the glass. The woman staring back was confident, successful, and genuinely happy. So different from the broken woman who'd discovered her husband's betrayal in a corner office. Derek Hayes had taken everything from her once. But in doing so, he'd accidentally freed her to become someone better than she'd ever imagined. The elevator doors closed, and Maya Chen, survivor, designer, fighter, headed home to the life she'd built for herself. And it was beautiful. The end. Thank you for reading The Price of Betrayal, a story about falling down, getting back up, and building something even better. Welcome to Heart's Reckoning. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like and subscribe for more inspiring tales of love, revenge, and redemption. Hit the notification bell so you never miss our next emotional journey.